All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of The Teardown. My name is Jeff Gluck, along with Jordan Bianchi. We are motorsports writers for The Athletic, and we are here to talk about the Sonoma race, where I am extremely jealous, almost to an angry level, Jordan, that you are at Sonoma, my favorite trip of the whole year. You have stolen it from me with a horrible trade, and now you're there for your first time.
You got
What?
fleeced. You got fleeced.
I got fleeced by yes. So Jordan, tell us about what you what's Sonoma like for you? What's your impression of the track? What do you think of the whole thing?
Well, guess how many wineries I went to while I was here?
Well, I know you didn't go to any because you were working. You're working so hard you can't do anything fun. I know that.
Nope. I had a work dinner Friday night. Had a work dinner Saturday night. I think the only wine I had all weekend came from a box. So that's about it.
But tell us about what do you think of the track? What do you think of everything?
This is an incredibly beautiful area of the country. This track is easily, if not number one, it's P2 on the list of most beautiful, scenic tracks. It's absolutely gorgeous up here. Everywhere you look, it's picturesque. It's just incredible. Lots to do. The atmosphere is great. If you're a NASCAR fan, I would recommend highly going to Sonoma. It has to be one of those bucket list things. You don't really appreciate it until you're here. It's absolutely incredible. You and I are going to have to fight next year to come here. we both may be ending up here.
Well, you say for NASCAR fans to go there, but I don't know if you're going to see a great race if you go there. The scenery and other things to do certainly around there is top notch. But as far as the racing, this was not necessarily the most memorable one. And honestly, it's sort of a typical Sonoma race in recent years, I would say, with this next-gen car. The next-gen has not been great at Sonoma, and this one certainly wasn't super memorable as well. SVG, as predicted, dominates yet again. And, not just dominates, but leads the most laps in Sonoma history, I believe. 97 laps.
Wow.
I think I saw Steven Stump said that broke the track record. The previous track record was Jeff Gordon at like 92 laps, I think. And listen, we could say all we want about SVG, but here's the numbers say it for itself. He's now tied the NASCAR Cup Series rookie wins record with 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, and SVG. He is the fastest driver to win 4 career Cup Series races since Parnelli Jones in 1967. Also from Steven Stump, he is the first Cup driver to win back-to-back races from the pole, at least after winning the pole, not just being awarded it in the pandemic, since Jimmy Johnson in 2012. He becomes the 5th, from Jonathan Field from the Racing Experts, becomes the 5th driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to get 3 or more road course wins in a row, joining Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, and Tim Richmond. So I know a lot of the talk this week, Jordan, has been about, you could put Boris Said in this next-gen car, and he would have done the same thing, and you can, this is, I'm sorry, but this is another level. And yeah,
we've seen it, whether it's Jenson Button, whether it's Jordan Taylor,
Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, like we have seen numerous drivers hop over here with road racing, expert road course race drivers, and not have, and it's challenging, and I get that. But what he is doing is a master class. I'm not going to sit there and say he's like you said last week, he may be the greatest ever. I don't know. I'm not ready to go there yet, but man, like it's just hard not. Well, I mean,
you are so stubborn.
I'm not going to say
you just can't bring yourself to say I'm right.
No, like it's a prisoner of the moment. We have seen drivers go on runs like this on road courses before. I said this last week. And so I am continually wowed, though, by this. It's no mistakes. It's turning every perfect wheel. It's great. I don't care, about the oval stuff. I really don't. And we're going to talk, you talk so much about playoff formats and what it means to win a race and get in the playoffs. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't feel comfortable having a driver out of the playoffs if they had 3 wins. And I don't care how they got those wins. Winning 3 times in the Cup Series is damn hard to do. Like, it is really hard to do. There are great drivers, Chase Elliott, who haven't won 3 races in a season in a while. And now this guy's got 3 wins, and to sit there and say, oh, he doesn't belong in the playoffs because where he's at in the standing, I don't care. Like, what he is doing deserves recognition, and it deserves to be rewarded with a playoff spot.
I think this conversation is so stupid, and it's honestly irritating to the nth degree. It was not long ago where you had all the drivers. I mean, Kevin Harvick was really outspoken about how there's no more road course ringers, right? Because the Cup field is so good now on road courses. They've all raised their game. They've all invested in getting way better at road courses than they used to be. It's not just 2 throwaway per year, and it's not just 3 when they had the Roval. There's 6 per year. And so guys are taking it seriously. Guys have raised their game, and the field is just the best it's ever been. So you bring in SVG, and he's making everybody look silly because he's making it look easy. But it's not. That's the whole thing. It's not easy. It's extreme. What he's doing is unbelievable. But people are so dismissive of it. Like, oh, well, yeah, he won 80 times on road courses in Australia. Of course he could come over here and do this. Well, that's not, it's equal cars. Like, oh my gosh, like, you guys, I don't think you understand the Cup drivers. They can see everything he's doing with the data. They are going massive amount of sim time to prepare for this stuff. They are doing everything to try to get better and try to catch him. The whole narrative this week, there was a lot of talk. Well, okay, street course, Mexico City, where nobody had ever seen that before. But Sonoma, where these guys have been over and over and over again, he's never made a Cup start there.
Yeah,
And
I bought into that a little. I bought that into a little bit. Like, you look at Mexico City and look at Chicago, and it's kind of an equal playing field. So SVG should have maybe a leg up. But when you go to a Watkins Glen or you go to a Coda where drivers do have some experience, I thought it leveled it out a little bit. But he blew that narrative out the window today. And so there's every expectation when you go to Watkins Glen next month, he should not only win the pole. He should not only lead every single lap. It feels like he should win the race going away. It's just like now it's like it's SVG and everyone else. It feels like a sports car race where it's like he's got his own class, and then whoever finishes second is P1 that next class.
I just don't see why everybody's so eager to, instead of being like, man, this guy's freaking good. Wow, we should really appreciate what's going on right now. It's just like, how can we? Well, you see 26 in points.
Have you met
NASCAR
on
ovals? Well, I mean, I just don't.
That's what they do.
It's not like he's been doing this for years. Like this, we haven't even seen this type of thing before. Like where somebody comes in and is able to do what he's doing. The whole road course ringers thing, it was cool to see them even get close to the top 10 before, not like dominate and win Cup races. I think what this guy's doing is incredible. And it's just sort of a shame that people are just so dismissive, shooting arrows or something. I don't know, but to me, pretty damn impressive. I know everybody says that we're glazing him, but what else do you want to talk about? This guy is freaking dominating. So you want us to talk about how, Keselowski almost got his first top 10 at a road course in a while or something. He finished. What are you looking to hear? So, I mean, look, it's going to change next week going to Dover. He's going to be laps down probably. And everybody's going to say, see, but I don't know what that proves, but like, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He's trying ovals. Like, this guy's a world-class driver. I think it's cool to see what he's been able to do. Now it's going to take a break for a while. So, just whatever.
Appreciate what is unfolding in front of you, which is something that we have not seen to this level in the Cup Series, maybe ever. And a rookie driver coming in and dominating like this. Yes, Tony won 3 races. Yes, Jimmy won 3 races. But to spank the field like this, multiple weeks, week after week, it feels like this is incredible. And I don't care about any of that stuff about ovals and playoffs and anything like that. But in this moment, what he did in Mexico City, what he did in Chicago, what he did here today, he deserves all of the praise. And to sit there, to your point, and to dismiss this and say, oh, well, this, and this. If it's so easy, then why haven't other road course ringers have ever done? Scott Pruitt came in. He finished second a couple times. Ron Fellows came in, finished second a couple times. We have seen numerous world-class sports car drivers come in. And by the way, in a car, the next-gen car, that is supposed to be so similar to what they see in IMSA. And even those guys who had that experience couldn't elevate themselves and even get a top 10 finish, let alone a win. And yet here he is, not only finishing in the top 10, but winning poles, winning stages, winning the race, leading the most laps, and kicking everyone's butt. Appreciate the greatness that is unfolding in front of you.
Well, Chase Briscoe finished second, said it was like racing against Michael Jordan in his prime, but a good run for Chase Briscoe, because, I was shocked. I think it was Eric Estep's stat that he's never finished in the top 5 on a road course, despite as good as Briscoe's been on road courses. He has never had a top 5 till now. So that's a really good run for him. Chase Elliott was driving up on tires. I think they actually made the right call. They took tires.
Yeah.
He dropped down to 14th, but then they got 2 cautions late that took 5 laps, I think, out of the last 5 of the last 11 laps were under caution, I believe. And so, that really blunted his opportunity to be able to drive up through there. And then he was on his way and it made the pass for third and drove off course briefly, lost some time. Bell passed him back, and then he had to repass Bell. So he was within like 1.3 seconds or something with a couple laps to go, and then made the mistake. But it looked like he might have had a chance to do it. McDowell didn't seem like he, had the car that he wanted, but he finished 4th. Bell overcomes, getting hitting Briscoe, and that was a weird, that was a weird incident. But he ends up finishing 5th. So. And it looked like Reddick said also like he could have sort of dumped Bell or moved him on the last lap. I don't know if we saw that on TV, but both their quotes were talking about how he could have made it an issue and didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess they talked on pit road afterwards about it or something. But he finishes 6th, and then Ty Gibbs finishes 7th. And Ty Gibbs, that was my pick to win both Chicago and this race. Wasn't quite in contention there, but had a little bit of an incident there on pit road that got people talking. And then it was like, no, we didn't mean that. What was your interpretation of everything that happened there with the Ty Gibbs Keselowski incident?
Yeah, I talked to Ty Gibbs after the race. I talked to Chris Gabehart, who kind of oversees the competition for JGR. I talked to the competition director for RFK. Ty Gibbs was very, very clear in that he did not do anything intentional. It was incidental contact. He is allowed to drive through the box. The carrier on the 6 came out too far, and he just clipped him. He is adamant that it was an accident. Chris Gabehart went back and looked at it as well and was like, listen, Ty didn't do anything wrong. NASCAR, I talked to NASCAR about this, and they said the same thing. Ty did not do anything wrong. They cleared him of this. And so it's a tough incident. We see this if you swing too wide, if you're a crew guy. It's a hairy spot to be in. I don't know how to make of it. At the end of the day, I defer to the experts on this, NASCAR, the competition people, and they all say that this is a non-issue. And so even Jeremy Bullins, so I didn't get a chance to speak to Jeremy Bullins, but Jeremy Bullins did make comments to NASCAR that he had no issue with this as well. So this seems to be a much ado about nothing. It's an incidental contact, it seems like, and everybody moves on.
Well, it seems like a few things happened here, right? Because, you have an incident where there's pushing and shoving on pit road. Obviously, the carrier for Keselowski went right to confront. Yep. And then, TV goes back and says, well, just right before this, Ty Gibbs got punted by Busher in the corner.
Yeah.
And then so maybe are these two things related? And then it's like, well, he cut it pretty close there. It looks pretty aggressive. And then RFK put out the video saying, hey, judge for yourself. They're upset. They're mad, right? Like, they're like, look at this, guys. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot happened there. And then the other thing, of course, is Ty Gibbs doesn't get the benefit of the doubt.
No, there is no benefit of the doubt for Ty Gibbs. That's just the reality of the situation.
Because he's had incidents on pit road before where he's lost his cool. So, I don't know. Did he cut it close? It's, I think you have differing, even drivers on X, differing opinions about it. Like Dawson Cram, I saw posting that, people that are weighing in on this have never driven before, kind of thing. And then Ryan Ellis from the Xfinity Series said, that no excuse for doing that. So like he thought it was a bad incident as well. So, I don't really, I can't really say because I don't, if NASCAR and the experts and everybody are like, hey, this is normal. I mean, Jamie McMurray, all these people on the post race show, they're all like, no, this is how it is. Okay. I mean, Eric Estep went back and found that he cut it closer, much closer than he did on the first pit stop. You know, I don't know, but it seems like if there's not going to be a penalty, it wasn't, I don't know. So
the one thing so I want to close the loop on this. NASCAR is not going to review what Ty Gibbs did at all. That is closed. They feel he did not do anything wrong. That is closed. However, they are going to review the altercation on pit road between the tire carrier from the 6 team and the altercation with the 54 team. And so they are going to look at that. That is the only thing that is open from this.
Yeah, again, I mean, so when NASCAR, and to help you guys interpret that, when NASCAR says they're not even going to look at it, because sometimes something might happen in the race and they go back afterwards and say, well, you know what, we'll take a look at this on Tuesday or whatever and review this and review SMT, or, did he cut it closer or whatever. So them saying they're not even going to look at it.
They already looked at it. I want to make sure too, like they looked at it already. They did look at it in the moment and they're good. So it's like, not like they're just like, whatever, they're burying their head in the sand. They did look at it. They absolved him, and that's that. So. All
right. Well, Ty Gibbs, I don't know if the fans are going to be as forgiving, because I think a lot of people wanted him to be guilty of that and are upset that he's not getting a penalty or something. Ty Gibbs haters in full effect on X. So, but yeah, I do think though that the way everything got lumped and presented together makes it look, the way, I mean, not to blame the broadcast, but the broadcast goes, this happened and then this happened and look at this. And you have Letarte saying, whoa, that's way too close. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. And then you have RFK posting it. And then obviously they went back and cleaned it up. But for a while there, you're like, oh, it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
So.
And again, and I think you hit the nail on the head. If this was any other driver, maybe not Carson Hocevar or a few other drivers, this I think would have been like, it's a racing accident. This is what happens on pit road, that kind of thing. And people would kind of push this off. But because it's Ty Gibbs, this is going to get magnified a little bit.
You had some other incidents that people weren't necessarily happy about. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez racing for 14th in stage 2. Chastain, I guess, got in too hot, gave him the boot, spun out Suarez. Suarez said, you better hope that I don't get back to him. Suarez ends up coming back to finish 14th, Chastain 24th, and of course their teammate Shane Van Gisbergen wins another race. So, that seemed like a racing incident to me, but on the other hand, there's not as much give and take now that everybody knows Suarez is out. Like, could that be a layer to this?
No, I mean, listen, this is turn 11 at Sonoma. We see it all the time. Guys get stacked up. It looked like the 22 kind of braked hard. The 99 got stacked up, and then the 1 came in hard. And if you actually go back, I think it was the 99's radio, because I went back and looked at it, is they actually told him about Ross before that, about, hey, Ross is getting in there really hard. Be aware of that. And so to me, this is an unfortunate racing accident. It involves teammates, and because it involves teammates, one of which is leaving the team at the end of the year, that gets magnified a little bit. This is another one where it's much ado about nothing. And I know what Chastain said on the radio. I know what Suarez said on the radio, but you know how it is, Jeff. Guys saying things on the radio in the heat of the moment. Blaney today is another guy who had an incident with somebody on the racetrack, and he was 2 guys, Trace Briscoe and Chris Buescher. And both times he was like, I'm not happy. And this is just part of it.
Yeah. And I mean, I would feel, if I was Suarez, I would not feel as forgiving that it was just a racing incident. I would say, hey, isn't my teammate going to take care of me a little bit more, give me a little bit more courtesy here, make sure that doesn't happen, kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, there was, when these guys are driving on the edge, it's a slick track. I mean, again, you saw another teammate we talked about earlier, Bell and Briscoe. I mean, it's not like he meant to get into his teammate. It's tough to make judgments in that kind of moment. I mean, the Barry Hocevar thing. Hocevar was going to finish 5th. He looked like he was going to finish 5th on strategy, and then Barry comes in and cleans him out. We never got a good angle. Did he wheel hop? I never went and looked back at, the in-car camera on that. So that looked, clearly Hocevar's not going to be happy, but was that an accident? Do you have any take on that?
From what I saw, it seems like it's aggressive racing on a late race restart, and you're going to have that. It wasn't. I don't want to I didn't talk to anybody after the race about it, but it just seems like in that situation, you're going for it. It's aggressive, and in a driver like Hocevar, this is kind of part of it. That when you have this reputation and you for being aggressive and taking liberties with people, it also does flip where other drivers be like, hey, I can be aggressive with him and take liberties with him because I don't have to worry about, he's done it to other people. I can race him equally as hard, and he really can't say much about it. And so you're really not going to get much of a break from anybody.
Well, one thing that was intentional was Ty Dillon booting Alex Bowman in the final corner of the race to move on in the bracket challenge. I'm very disappointed that, at least somebody tell me if I missed it, we didn't get the Ty Dillon one-liner. We didn't get a TV interview. I don't believe, at least the part I saw. Maybe they did it late after I already turned the post-race show off to do the podcast or something. But I thought if Ty Dillon was going to move on, we're going to get another one-liner. I haven't seen anything. So we didn't get that this week, at least that I saw. But, we talked about, hey, don't worry, the bracket challenge, it's not going to affect anything on the track. Clearly.
Oh, he told me afterwards it did. I talked to him and he was like, yeah, there was $1 million on the line. Like, that means a lot for us. Yeah, I moved him. I wanted to be respectful about it. I wasn't going to dump him, but I did move him. And
he cost him 2 spots. Ty Dillon got 17th and Bowman ended up 19th. So,
but he's like, I'm aware of this. I was aware of the situation. I wanted to put myself in a position where going into turn 11, I could get to his bumper a little bit and move him. I have no issue with that, man. Like, for that team and that driver, like, he even said, like, this is a really big deal for us. Like, we haven't had much go right this year. This is putting a lot of spotlight on our team. This means a lot. Yeah. Like, good for him. And so he was emphatic afterwards. And I guess I did ask Ty if he talked to Alex Bowman. They were actually parked right next to each other on pit road. And Ty walked over, he said, and apologized to Alex Bowman and said, hey, I'm sorry. And according to Ty Dillon, Alex Bowman was good about it and kind of understood the situation.
Well, remember, Ty Dillon only got into this tournament, I believe, because he was the one that got in over SVG, right? Like, that was the last spot. So people were like, oh man, he got in, and SVG would have gone far in this tournament, but so has Ty Dillon. Now, so he's the number 32 seed. He has moved on to the Final Four. On their side of the bracket as well, you have John Hunter Nemechek finished 28th and moved on over his teammate Eric Jones 29th. A battle of mid, at least today there.
Hey, survive in advance, baby. It's all that matters.
Yes. You finish 28th and move on to the Final Four.
How about the fact that we're going to have a John Hunter Nemechek or Ty Dillon in the final?
At the Brickyard, one of those, either Ty Dillon or John Hunter Nemechek are going to have a chance to win $1 million. That
is wild. Like, good for them, though. It's been, that's cool.
The other side of the bracket is much more intense because Tyler Reddick, again, my pick to win it all, still alive, defeats Ryan Preece, who had a very respectable finish, at least. Reddick finished 6th, Preece finished 12th, so Preece is knocked out. And then Ty Gibbs, the aforementioned Ty Gibbs, defeats Zane Smith, who finished 27th. Ty Gibbs finished 7th. So Tyler Reddick versus Ty Gibbs at Dover. Now that's a very much more even match, I would say. So, but I still have Tyler Reddick moving on there. I know you're picking Ty Dillon.
I'm picking Ty Dillon, man. Glass slipper fits. He's dancing all the way to the final.
Well, I will pick John Hunter Nemechek at Dover. So I will have a Tyler Reddick, John Hunter Nemechek final. Reddick wins, and you're going to have Ty Dillon. I assume. Are you picking Tyler? It's weird. Sorry. There's a Ty, Tyler, and a tie.
Yeah,
3 out of the 4.
Yeah, basically, if you have TY in your name, you're basically in the semifinals.
Congrats.
I feel like, are we leaving anybody out there? There's Ty Dillon, Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs. So, I'm just going to pick the guy with TY in their name. Is that the easy way to do it?
So what's your real pick at this point?
I'm picking Reddick. I just
wait. Okay, so Reddick, Ty Dillon final, and Ty Dillon beats Reddick at the Brickyard.
Yeah, I'm going Ty. Something's going to happen.
How's that going to happen? Oh, something's going to happen.
There's a lot of ways that can happen at the Brickyard. I mean, fuel mileage race. Tyler Reddick has a mechanical issue. There's all sorts of things that can happen. It doesn't matter how it happens. It's just going to happen. Ty Dillon wins $1 million.
Okay, well, that'd be quite a story, I guess.
No, I wonder, and I guess we could probably find this out pretty easy, but I wonder if there's anybody out there that had Ty Dillon, not just winning the championship, but like even in their final four. Is there one person out there who had him?
I'm sure they did. I mean, now that were they, it was probably fans of his or family members or something. I don't think people were
Ty Dillon's bracket. He had Ty Dillon winning.
Yeah. I mean, again, on his side of the bracket, he beat Denny. And then, again, here's some of the names on that side of the bracket: Hamlin, Busch, Keselowski, Bowman, Logano, Bubba, Suarez, Elliott, Chastain, Bell. I mean, those are some of the big names on that side of the bracket. And Ty Dillon is on the cusp of moving on past all of them. So
he's Florida Gulf Coast. I wrote it on The Athletic this week. He's the Florida Gulf Coast of this tournament.
It's just, I still wish that the whole Atlanta, the way it went down, I wish it hadn't happened like that. Just in the sense that I think it killed so much interest in like actually following the bracket part of this. Like, yeah, you have like the people talking about, oh, it's a cool, cute little matchup or whatever. But like, knocking out so many heavyweights really took, I think, a lot of the teeth out of this. So it hasn't been as fun.
I disagree. Like I will say my interest going into this, I was really muted on this. I'm like, it's fine. Like, I think it's good for, people want to throw down some money and you want to gamble in a, summer race. I really didn't have any genuine excitement about this, but watching Ty Dillon continue to do this and kind of defy expectation and somehow finding a way each week. And I know there's been some wacky.
No, I get that.
And
that's
so
a cool story.
Like I will admit, like today, I followed Ty Dillon's progress today more than I ever have. And honestly, throughout this whole thing, like every week, I think you've kind of done it a few times. If you've updated as the race is moving along, and here's the driver's eliminated, here's advancing, right? And I just kind of shrugged my shoulders, like whatever, like cool, whatever, it is what it is. Today was the first time I'm like, where's Ty running? Where's Ty running? Like I was genuinely interested. So Ty's Cinderella run has actually piqued my interest. Whereas like, yeah, maybe it would be cool if it was like a Larson or Bell squaring off, but I don't know. Like we see that all the time. We see that for the regular season championship. We see that for the championship 4. Like we kind of get that. But to have a guy, we're kind of dismissing John Nemechek here too. But to have John Nemechek or Ty Dillon have a chance to win this thing and be one of the 2 of the 4 drivers, like that's kind of cool. My interest is actually more now because of it.
Well, you had time to look at the bracket today because SVG was dominating the race. So
but even then, well, there's that too. But I just didn't. It just was interesting to me though, more than it ever has. So like, I mean, yeah, like for fans of the big name drivers, they have more fans and more interest. Therefore, I still think this is a better story.
Yeah, and I do think honestly for Dover, with just 2 matchups left, and 2 more even matchups, right? Like it's not Ty Dillon going against Tyler Reddick. It's like the 2 fastest cars, and the 2 other cars. So I think we'll be able to see them racing around each other, both pairings a lot more, you would think, and they'll be able to highlight them during the race. So, let's talk about the points real quick because we mentioned Tyler Reddick. He is the top guy, still not locked in. And by the way, with each one of these races that SVG wins, fewer wild card type guys are going to be in it. AJ Almendinger possibly missed another opportunity this week. And now we're down to it's there's still 12 winners, right? Is there 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 12 winners so far, 4 spots left. So you've got Reddick plus 149, Buescher plus 34, Bowman plus 32, Bubba Wallace is plus 3, Ryan Preece is minus 3, and Kyle Busch has crept back into the picture a little bit by salvaging a top 10 today after his spin. he's minus 37. Now, of course, somebody wins, moves up the cut line, and he's a lot more out, but he's in the conversation a little bit more now, and he can outrun some of those guys. So, I don't know. What do you think?
You make a great point about SVG. You know, just the wild card races that we always talk about, road courses, super speedways. Well, 3 of those road courses now have gone to SVG, and that is going to do it. You look at today, this could have been Bubba Wallace did a really good job of getting stage points today. They played the points game. They finished 3rd and 4th in the 2 stages. That helps a lot. Sure. I still think you're going to have somebody outside the playoffs guys now below the cut line, get a win somewhere along the way and pop up. But looking at it, Jeff, what would you say? We have 2 wild card tracks left, Watkins Glen and Daytona. And the way things are, like, I don't know if we can count.
I don't even know if
I don't know if Watkins Glen is, because like we all expect SVG to go there and dominate. And if he doesn't, it looks like Ty Gibbs is going to be in the mix, or Chris Buescher, who won that race a year ago. It just feels like if you're outside of that cutoff right now and you're in a points hole, Daytona's it. It really does feel like that. Like, I just don't see another track that you could realistically pull an upset at. I think Daytona's it. And I feel like the guys that are primarily locked in there, except for maybe Bubba on the cut line, I feel pretty confident that they're going to be okay.
Let's just remember, though, that crazy things do happen. You've still got, heck, Eric Almirola won New Hampshire a few years ago.
Austin Dillon won at Richmond last year.
Yeah. So there's still more to come. And I do think, though, that we can no longer look at road course races and call them wild card type races, because it's sort of like SVG or somebody else. So I don't know. I'd feel like at this point, and again, I advocated for this, a month or so ago, but like, I'd really be very interested in points racing at this point if I was one of those guys on the bubble, more than just like, hey, we need to win our way and it's going to get, the cut line's going to keep getting moved. I'd be like, you know what, I will take my chances here on trying to maximize points. So like what Bubba did today by trying to get stage points, I thought was a good idea. Stenhouse was trying to do the same thing until he got,
and he was running well too today until he got punted there at the end.
Yeah. And now he's 23rd in points, I guess. So, although he actually moved up 2 spots today because of his stage points. So he actually moved up 2 spots, it looks like. Interesting. So I did want to ask you, though, after that, the Stenhouse thing, they didn't red flag for that. And they cleaned it up fairly quickly, but should that have been a red flag in your mind?
I felt like they did it quick enough where it wasn't a question. And so I didn't have an issue with it. It's borderline to me, but as quick as they cleaned it up, I was fine with it, moved on. If it would have been longer, then you're like, okay, this needs to be a red flag here. I didn't have an issue with it at all. And it kind of bit Chase Elliott a little bit, because we go back to earlier what you said. I was okay with that call for Chase Elliott. Like, let's go put tires on. Let's go win this race. Unfortunately for him, he needed a monster restart to get, 4 or 5 positions within a couple laps, and he didn't get it. He actually slid back a couple. And so it kind of bit him there. I just didn't see an issue with it. I thought it was fine. The race was moving along. They were efficient in cleaning it up.
Let's talk about whether this was a good race, Jordan, because Big Joe Wall is back stateside from his vacation where he was keeping us informed. And he's informed me that I've now taken my 2nd win in a row. Mm-hmm. So 3 race lead for me with 7 races to go. I'm up 12-9. So I'm feeling okay about this. I'm not going to tip my hand on where I'm going with this. So, okay. Yeah. All right. Are you ready to guess? What?
No, I got to find my Sharpie.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. So you want me to keep talking then?
No one wants
all right. Well, what?
No one wants you to keep talking.
Well, I have to stall for you to get ready to.
Oh man. Hang on. I don't know. I have not thought about this until this very second. I will say this quickly.
I'm sorry that Denny didn't help you this week.
It's cool. I was actually glad to lose last week. I was actually encouraged by the fact that more people than I thought were okay with Chicago than we expected. We well agree, like, people just do not like Chicago, it seems like. The number was much higher than I thought. So I am glad. I humbly, graciously accept defeat. I'm cool with that. All right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, it's such a shame that you don't know and you haven't had a chance to
I've been
poll
busy,
all your
okay?
friends and
I'm sorry. I am sorry that I have a lot of friends. I'm sorry. It's not easy being popular, Jeff. It's not easy. It's the cross I bear.
Actually, I don't understand that.
Like, not surprised.
All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
38.8.
Oh, 53.
Whoa, 53.
Yeah, I know. I went too high. I know. I went too high. I know.
I did 38.8 for the 88 in there for Shane.
Oh,
so the reason I'm saying 38 is the lowest Sonoma race ever was a Martin Truex Snooze Fest win that was 42%. And I think that right now you're seeing a lot of road course weariness, a lot of SVG weariness. There wasn't much drama or there was never a point today when you thought he was going to lose, even when he made the last pit stop and he came out like 2.5 seconds behind McDowell, and then he had to track down McDowell. The tires wore out so much today.
How about when he pitted, fell behind Larson, and it's like, okay, Larson's going to win. Like the 5 team was like, hey, we're going to win the stage here.
Right. Let's stay out to win the stage.
Yeah, we're going to stay out to win the stage. And like, oh, bleep, we're not going to win the stage. We're going to finish second. Cool. Like, no.
Unbelievable.
Like, unbelievable. Like, that just shows you right there. Like, it was a butt kicking. And I get it. I think you're probably right. I think people are like that. I'm on the other side. I wish people would appreciate this more, but I think you're right. Like, there's just a weirdness. This race maybe kind of was devoid of those exciting moments. This wasn't anything like the Xfinity Series race where it felt like all day long, even though there was no natural cautions, you had 2 of the best going toe-to-toe all afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, so the bottom 3 Sonoma races in the poll are all Truex wins. And it's 2018, 47%, 2023, 43.2%, 2019, 42%. So, yeah, I mean, and then there's sort of a big difference because then the next one's 66%. So you're saying it's going to be just like the 4th out of 9, I guess, or 4th worst out of 9. I'm saying it's going to be the lowest, but anyway, yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe I'm judging it too harshly, but I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was super compelling. Plus all the things I mentioned. It
wasn't memorable. Like, unless you're an SVG fan, you're not going to remember this race. I mean, you're not.
But it's on. That's how the next gen road course races have been in some cases, and especially for, hey, this is one time today where you almost are like, maybe the stages were actually, and I've been anti putting the stages back in, but what if the stages hadn't been in there today? SVG would have
just lapped the field. Just lapped the
gosh.
I mean, he won by 15, 16 seconds at Mexico City. I mean, it would have
really been... the only chance you would have had is for a caution to come out and pin him down on strategy at the wrong time, but it feels like he still would have.
But even then,
can
we talk about that really quick? There's a couple things I want to talk about. And I don't mean to continually, throw flowers at SVG, but one, his team manages the race really, really well. We so often these road courses see teams, crew chiefs, kind of overthink it, and they mess up the strategy. They pit too soon. They pit too late. With the 88 team, it's pretty straightforward. Like, the pit cycle stop is starting. Like, they come in. They don't play games. They don't try to stay on the track too long. It's like, nope, we got a great car. We just want to stay ahead of everything. We don't want to get caught with our pants down here. And we're going to keep, in position to maintain our track position and not put our driver in a bad spot. Like, they don't overthink it. They did that at Mexico City. They did that again today. That is smart. And even last week at Chicago, they flipped it on the fly when they realized what the 71 was doing, and they deviated from their strategy. So we're giving a lot of credit to SVG, but give credit to the team there of executing the plan and thinking big picture and not getting in themselves in a bad spot. And pit crew, like, no issues on any of their stops anytime. Like, maybe when you have that good of a car, it's like, take your time, don't rush, make sure you get everything tight. And that's what they're doing. SVG deserves a lot of the credit, but these are team victories in that sense, and that they are not putting themselves in a bad spot. They're not putting the driver in a bad spot. They're just letting him go out there. And then he's running a really smooth race and not having to be aggressive and not pushing it all the time. And we hear it over and over again. He's so good at saving his tires. And it's like, even if the 9 would have caught him there at the end, if something would have happened, you still felt like he was going to have something in reserve.
Yeah, that's the thing. It feels like we're not even seeing the full SVG.
He's not pushed.
Yeah. He hasn't. It feels like there's something in the tank left that he could go harder. And I think that's pretty alarming for the field too. So yeah. But I also, again, you're right in that they're not making mistakes. He's not speeding on pit road, all that kind of stuff. It seems like the only chance is to really rough him up on a restart. Like if Briscoe, like let's say Briscoe hadn't won this year or something, right? Like, does he, really get even more aggressive there or something? Yeah. I think probably not, honestly, because it's the way that SVG raced him. Ty Gibbs, I could see going for his first career win. Like
Chastain, there's certain drivers. I mean, absolutely. But I will say this: SVG is subtly aggressive on restarts. He did that last week in the Xfinity Series race with Connor Zilich going into turn 1, kind of took away Connor's line to kind of put him in the wall. And today on that last restart, he didn't shove Chase Briscoe off the track, but he kind of like nudged him off the track a little bit. And so I feel like SVG is really adamant about, hey, I want to race guys clean and I don't want to do anybody dirty. But you also get the sense of like, he can dip into that bag if he needs to as well and start shoving guys around real easy.
Well, I mean, look at the Xfinity race, right? Like he might have hit Zilich 5 times or something.
And he let Zilich recover too, by the way, after.
But that's the thing. There's a difference between going in and cleaning somebody out or even blatantly doing the bump and run and take their position versus here, I'm going to try to nudge you out of the way a little bit just to get underneath or, like
push you off the course just a little bit.
Or I'm going to hopefully make you feel the pressure here and force you into a mistake. That's what I thought was so impressive about Zilich yesterday. Like SVG was there. SVG was trying to make him, choke or have a moment or whatever and force him into an error. And Zilich completely kept his composure the entire time and drove very, very well. And, was able to win that race. I thought that was a very signature moment for Zilich. That was a great race, by the way, the Xfinity race. Now that would have been, if you're asking me what to vote on the poll, like that would have been over 90% for me. Cause that was the entire time. That wasn't even just the finish of that race. The entire race was them dueling it out.
It was mono. It was so cool.
Yeah. It wasn't like where Chicago, where Zilich had to start from the back and then he got there late and they just had that one restart. They raced the whole time and it was like excellent racing. So, and I think too, it's like that racing with the Xfinity series on road courses where they're still, they're not sports cars, right? Like, and you can, it's a different type of racing. And I think that NASCAR, and there's no going back now, I guess at this point, but NASCAR misses the cup cars being able to wheel hop and make mistakes. And Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart that year at Watkins Glen, both going down into turn 1 at separate times and spinning out because they wheel hopped and guys just messing up. Like, and I think these cars these drivers are great. They keep it on track for the most part. And the incidents aren't what they were. And I think that's hurt the racing, but yeah, I mean, a guy like SVG, that's so precise. He made one mistake today, cost him about a second or two, but he had such a big lead at that point that he recovered anyway. So anyway, I don't know. I'm glad to get, I mean, what do you think about Keselowski saying there's too many road courses at this point? There's 6. So,
I mean, I thought about this a lot this week, and I think the number is 4 to 5. I think that's probably where it's at. I think it's one of those situations though that evolves in that, if sudden road courses become more competitive and kind of like all the things you were talking about, then you say, okay, maybe we're going to increase that number up. But the current state of road course racing, I would say 4. And I thought about this is like, Watkins Glen and Sonoma to me are legacy tracks. They aren't going anywhere, especially Sonoma's in a great market. Watkins Glen is one of the most historic racetracks in the country, period. And so you continue to go there. We all agree. The Roval needs to go back. The Charlotte Roval needs to go away and needs to go back to the Oval. Okay. I like
That's
Coda.
like the most low-hanging fruit possible.
It's one of those changes too. It's like if you would just announce that tomorrow, everybody's
yes.
Party be popping. Yeah. I like Coda. I think that the shorter course was much better this year. I love that city and everything like that, but I wouldn't be opposed if they went away from it for a few years just to kind of freshen it up a little bit, if that makes sense. And I think it's really important to have a street course race, whether that's Chicago or San Diego, maybe. Who knows? I know. So Sonoma, Watkins Glen, a street course race, and then give me in one other one somewhere. I'm fine with that. I think that would be the number I would be okay with. And we get rid of a.
But then, what do you do for your international race?
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is so you'd have. What was it? We got 6 now, right?
There's 6, yeah.
So we're getting rid of the Roval. We're getting it on Dakota. So that's 4. So we'd have an international race. We'd have a street course race, and then we'd have
historic road courses.
That's your 4. And again, if you wanted to add 5th, I'm okay with that. I wouldn't really go above 5 though. Like I would keep that.
Well, I also think just and look, I think that this was the first time that we've seen Sonoma in July like this. It was a month later than usual because the Mexico City took this date essentially this year. And so I don't know that they ideally wanted to put back-to-back road courses with Chicago and Sonoma. And I think that anytime you have that, the fan base is going to get really weary really quick. I mean, there's just not a lot of patience for road courses grouped close together. It's not unlike when there's super speedways grouped together, whether it's Daytona and Atlanta to start
or short tracks even.
Yeah. And I think the weariness of this fan base, the patience level of this fan base evaporates quickly when something is not up to their liking or their standards. And so, I think that's playing a factor in this as well, as if this was somehow more spaced out, but I agree with you. 4 to 5 is probably about right. I think they've overdone it. And, but now, it's also you have made a situation here where going international is a road course, going to a street course in a city is a road course. So you don't, those are important things. And I don't know that you can easily undo that because those are important for the sport's growth. So we'll see. I mean, if you wanted to make the 5th one be like the rotating, Coda and a couple others or something.
I think that's a great idea. Like you've got your 2 historics, you've got your international, you've got your downtown street race in some big city, and then that 5th one is rotating between a Coda, whatever that is, a Portland or Road America, wherever you want to do. I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah. No, I think that's perfectly reasonable. Well, Jordan, what else is on your list before I keep moving on here?
Hang on. No, I'm never prepared. AJ Almendinger, I just want to mention him really quick. This was a missed opportunity for him. And not even, I don't know if anybody's going to beat SVG today, but Almendinger, this is a road course. This is an opportunity to score a lot of points. And when you look at his situation of where he's at in the standings, he's minus 50 now. He threw away points today. That's a tough spot to be in. And I think 50 for that team is probably a big number. They're probably in a must-win spot. This is a racetrack. This is a type of track you've got to come and perform and get as many points as you can. And it just feels like that team missed that out a little bit.
Well, we were just talking about racetracks and the type of racetracks and special events. And one that got renewed this week was the Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium. They're heading back there again.
Yep.
Obviously, it was a big success in terms of a sellout crowd. Very small capacity, obviously, but
enthusiastic.
Great atmosphere. Yeah. Right.
It transcended the number of people that were there. It made it feel bigger on TV, and I think that is really important.
I sat up in the stands so I could watch it because there was no way to watch it from the media center there. So they didn't have a press box. So I got a scalped ticket and I really enjoyed that experience as well. The fans.
Did you expense that, by the way?
I did not.
Okay, you should make sure to do that.
Oh, okay. But boy, that's really rich coming from you.
I'm just trying to be a good friend here, bud. I'm saying you should expense that.
Okay. I'm not going to call you out on a podcast for not doing your expenses in a timely manner, Jordan. I would never do that to you.
I need a secretary. Honest to God, I need an assistant. I need an assistant to function. I have too much other stuff going on. I need a day-to-day assistant.
You don't even have kids. I have 2 kids. I get my expenses in on time, Jordan.
Yeah, but you don't
excuse?
I work a lot. I got a lot going on. I've got, constantly chasing things. Yeah. Busy guy.
Okay. Well, expenses is like part of the job. So you should do those.
I really need an assistant. So if there's somebody out there.
Somebody help Jordan with his.
I need can I get like an internship? Like maybe I could do like a college internship, like partner with them, be like, hey, you get us credit for being his intern.
I mean, Jordan did offer to pay me like 10% if I did his expenses last year.
I did.
He was so desperate for somebody else to do them. So
you should have taken me up on that.
I know I would have gotten so much money. You had so many expenses.
I know. I'm so worried. Now it's getting to the point though. I'm so worried about like my boss is going to yell at me. So now I'm like worried about it.
He may be watching this right now.
He's not watching.
Okay. All right. Well, maybe you could get 10% of Jordan's expenses if you be his intern or assistant.
Oh man, I need an intern.
Anyway, but honestly though, like in all seriousness, I think that one underrated part of the Clash, they were talking about taking it to Brazil or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But one underrated thing is that is essentially a home race for these teams. I mean, everybody's staying at home and driving back and forth from Charlotte. It's so close. And so to me, like with this long schedule that NASCAR has right now, and it's very relentless. And, we've talked about just the grind and going from Easter all the way through to the end, giving them a home race instead of going across the country like they did to LA for the Clash or going to Brazil, whatever. That is a big win for those crew guys and drivers, right? So like,
absolutely.
I think that's a very popular thing that doesn't get as much play, but is important. So
I think it's a great thing. I mean, especially, you started at LA and then you went back to the East Coast and then you would go back to LA again, the Fontana, remember that? Like, that's a haul. It is nice to see. I was talking to a hauler driver today and they're like, we're tired. They are exhausted. Like we talk a lot about the pit crew members. And he was kind of giving me a hard time. He's like, you always talk about the pit crew members, and how hard they have. What about the hauler drivers? And I'm like, well, when I say crew members, it's like a broad term. He's like, I know, but man, like we are just getting our butts kicked. And they have like Michigan to Mexico City to Pocono. They are getting beat up. And so your point is right. It's like, it's a home race for these guys. It makes it easy. They can sleep in their own beds. When you've got a 38 race schedule over 40 weeks, it's nice to have that opportunity to just have a home game.
Well, they only have about maybe a 6.5, 7 hour drive to Dover next week. And then about a 9 or 10 hour drive to Indy after that. So hopefully that'll be a little bit better for them. Jordan, don't forget to go to shop.dirtymomedia.com where you can get the latest in all the Dirty Mo merchandise, like my hat here, my teardown hat. Lovely.
Looks good.
Lovely. I haven't sweated through this hat like I did for my hat that I usually wear. After Chicago, I came back and it was so humid. It was completely junk. I tried putting it in the washer. I put all this sort of soap on it and all the stuff. I can't get the sweat stains out. So that one's in the trash. I had to order a new one. So that's disappointing. But in the meantime, shop.dirtymomedia.com for I don't think I can wear this teardown hat at the track because it's just like,
why?
I think it falls under like a driver wearing your own gear kind of thing.
No, like drivers technically you're promoting your sponsor and like your company, and then so you're promoting your company in a way. And so your sponsor. So no, it's about the same. You should do that.
You know what? After you wear your lemonade stand shirt to the racetrack on race day,
that doesn't go buy the lemonade stand shirt. It's great. You should definitely wear it. I support that.
But you won't be caught dead wearing it. Is that right?
No. That is a certain look for a certain time. And when I'm at the racetrack, I am all, decked out.
Okay.
Well, a lot of compliments today on my look. I don't want to, maybe I can wear the lemonade stand t-shirt under like a sports coat. That's an idea.
You could.
I think maybe I'll do that. There we go.
Jordan, right now, as we do this podcast, the fate of the charters for 2311 and Front Row are still up in the air. They lost their request to get the hearing where the whole appeals court hears they lost the 3-judge panel. They said, we're going to overturn the preliminary injunction.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you guys are going to lose your charter status for the rest of the season. And it's, pending this court case. And 2311 and Front Row said, okay, well, we'd like the whole Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is based in Richmond. We'd like all the judges to hear this. Apparently, by the way, that kind of request only happens, gets granted like once or twice a year at that court. It's rare, I guess. So they didn't get that. They found out this week they didn't get that. So now they have time. They could still appeal again.
And they will.
Yes. They're planning to.
Yes. I've been told, I think you've probably been told the same thing. They are planning to do this. I would expect to see something tomorrow on this front. Yes, that's what I can tell you. I'm very confident in reporting that.
As I'm saying here, as Sunday night, we talked about this. Nothing has been filed yet.
No, nothing.
So
this is a Monday thing, expected on Monday.
Because the consequences here are they had 7 days from the time of that ruling that they would lose their charter status altogether. And then that would go into effect by Dover this weekend. So as long as they file another form of an appeal, they can extend this longer right now. But the consequences are real here because
they're real.
It's not even just, okay, well, they'd have to qualify in for every race because we know
that's a non-issue.
Right. They're not going to get bumped out. Chicago already passed, and that was the first time since Daytona where somebody got sent home. The money is a lot, obviously.
Money is significant, especially that is a huge thing, especially for Front Row Motorsports.
But if they win their trial, they would
get it back.
They'd have to pay the money back now, or they lost winnings now, but they'd get that back. Plus, they're asking for at the trial for triple damages.
Yeah, they'll be whole. Put it that way. They'll be made whole and then some.
That wouldn't be a thing long term if they won the trial, this is all contingent on that anyway. But the big thing is, and this is where the irreparable harm type thing comes in, is why they wanted that preliminary injunction in the first place, is in Tyler Reddick's contract, there's a clause in there, Jordan, and it says,
I'm well aware.
I'm telling the listeners, if you don't, I know you're aware, if you don't provide me with a charter car to race, I can be a free agent. I can become a free agent. So in theory, anyone could come and scoop him up if he's like, you know what, this is a mess. I'm going to go jump somewhere else. Now, again, right now there's not a lot of seats. You'd probably have to fire somebody mid-season to get him. I don't know if you wait to the end of the season, whatever the situation is, but what do you think, Jordan? I mean, is this something that's just a distant possibility, or could it really happen that way?
I mean, it's kind of could it happen? Yes. Do I think it will happen? I don't. But this is certainly something that a lot of teams have been paying attention to. And ever since this all started unfolding, people involved in this on the 2311 side have been very mindful of this. Like, Tyler Reddick is an A+ talent. He is a franchise player. He is somebody you build a team around. If you have Tyler Reddick in your race car, you feel like you can win a championship because he's one of the top 3-4 talents in the garage, right? And there are numerous teams in the garage who have looked at this situation and said, we would love to have him. We would love to have Tyler Reddick in our race car. Do I think anything will happen in the midseason? I do not. I for a lot of reasons, I don't think you would expect to see anything in the midseason. There's too many hoops to hop through. It gets messy and complicated. That said, if this prolongs into the offseason and 2311 doesn't have its charters, and theoretically Reddick is a free agent, if you will, I would be surprised if there is not a team who says, we're going to go all in and we're going to get him. Do we got to make a move? And maybe we got to cut somebody loose who we don't really want to cut loose. But this is a business at the end of the day. And when you have a driver to get Tyler Reddick, you got to do what you got to do if you put him in your race car, especially if you're a team that you feel like is a championship caliber team and you can put a championship caliber driver in there. yeah, this is a situation worth monitoring. I have been fascinated about this since last December when we learned about the clause in this contract. And I can tell you from the conversations I've had with people since then, they have been fascinated by this. And there is a worry and a concern, varying degrees, about how this could play out and the fact that Tyler Reddick could theoretically end up with a different team.
Cup teams absolutely paid attention to this. They absolutely know this about this clause, and they are absolutely considering what could happen. What would it take to get him? And so, yeah, I mean, and sometimes, Jordan, these teams, you know, the mentality becomes, it's not only that we would like him on a team, we need to prevent him from another team.
Mm-hmm. Or it's we can get him away from 2311. We can hurt 2311 competitively, or we can pull him out of a Toyota, and put him in one of our cars. And so we're hurting 2311, we're hurting Toyota, and all of a sudden this blue chip talent, who, by the way, let's go back a few years when Tyler jumped ship. One of the reasons that 2311 moved on this was because you remember he had a year's left on his deal with RCR. One of the reasons that 2311 moved on him early was there was other teams circling him, and they were like, we need to make sure we get him. He is that good of a driver. We need to make sure we get him. We need to jump the head of the line before anyone else does. It was a great play. It was smart, and it worked out. There's other teams now looking at the same situation and going, okay, what do we need to do here? So, yeah, it's something to watch.
All right. Well, the Monster Mile next week is going to be that's a hot date. There's a scorching date there, and they're going with a beach theme. So I'm going to go check that out. Dover, near and dear to my heart. I went to University of Delaware, about 45 minutes north of there. Go Hens. So I will be checking that out, and we'll report back on what it was like to have a scorching midsummer,
hot date,
mid-July date there.
When's the last time you had a scorching hot date?
Hey, I'm married. My wife.
So zero then.
Anytime. Okay. What? Anytime we go out, I have a scorching hot date.
Nice. That's well played. Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well trained.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, thanks as always for listening, and we will talk to you next time on the Teardown. See you, everybody.